Thank you for letting us know. Oh man, we were
We
muted.
we have talked for 6 minutes.
Well, let's start over again.
Let's start over.
Thank you for posting in the comments. We just had a whole conversation
We
to
did. We were
ourselves
just
about sidewalks.
we were just talking over here about a Durham bond. So
Yeah,
I really appreciate y'all letting us know. We literally would have gone the entire night without it. So.
Yeah, wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the
Yeah.
RDU Buzz. Tonight's episode. We're excited to talk with you guys. Definitely let us know as you're tuning in where you are watching from. And if you're catching the replay, same thing. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments later. And as we're talking, even if it doesn't pertain to the exact topic, if you have a question about Raleigh-Durham or housing market or anything like that, feel free to shoot it in the comments and we'll get an answer for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kicked it off. I wonder if you can edit lives. I need to look into that. I wonder if you can edit it on YouTube where you can cut out a portion of it. So
I have no idea.
We'll see. We'll try to. But anyway, so we were talking amongst ourselves apparently and not amongst anyone else. That, last week we kicked it off with talking about a proposed bond in Durham about the Parks Department and proposing essentially a bond to update 2 parks within Durham. And we've really had 2 main critiques of Durham in the past in our videos. And it's almost like Durham has watched our videos because they're releasing bonds on 2 things that we've talked about.
Residents of Durham, you're welcome. It's all thanks
which
to
I know
us.
is not true.
Yeah.
I know is not true. But another bond that is being proposed in Durham is to upgrade their sidewalk system, which is desperately needed. So It's not uncommon in Durham to have sections, especially maybe in between different bus stops where there's no sidewalks connecting those areas. And so you have people who have to walk down the road. Maybe they're pushing a stroller. I've seen people in wheelchairs literally going from bus stop to bus stop.
Scary
and it's just
I get
not
so nervous that someone's gonna be looking at their phone or just overcorrect and end up like running over a pedestrian, It is scary.
And so
we definitely need those sidewalks.
Sure. And so in addition to the $85 million bond that's being proposed in Durham City for the parks, they are also proposing a $115 million bond that will go towards street and sidewalk repairs. Which is really great, I think.
I mean
that's a substantial
it's
amount
great
of money.
that they have targeted it. It's a little bit disappointing that that money has not been in reserves. I feel like any city should probably know, like, hey, a sidewalk does not last forever, right? Like eventually we're going to need to replace it, or as the population increases, the need for more spaces with sidewalks would come up. But I will take a sidewalk for the pedestrians however we can get it. So I'm glad that they're proposing it. I mean, it's a lot of money for a bond, but I'm glad it's at least being proposed.
Yeah, I mean, 60 million of that 115 would go towards brand new sidewalks, which again, I know that probably sounds really small, but it's a really big deal, and Durham really needs it. And if there are 2 things that could be critiqued about Durham, I feel like it's the park system, and I feel like it's the lack of sidewalks, which you don't necessarily experience if you go to a place like Raleigh, at least most parts of Raleigh or Cary or Apex or Wake Forest. Like it's just not there.
Yeah.
And
to be fair to places like Cary, Apex, and Raleigh, I'm not saying that they just came up on the map or anything like that, but Durham is a much more establised area. So things are obviously naturally older here and in Raleigh. So when you go somewhere like Wake Forest, or Apex, that was traditionally very rural, they didn't really have sidewalks to begin with. So now, the city codes and stuff, as they've built new roads, have like kept up, and there's going to be sidewalks there. And that just hasn't really happened in Durham because everything's been here for so long. So I'm excited to see that. So I think it's great. The other thing that Durham needs, maybe we get a bond for a Trader Joe's to come into the area. I will vote yes.
Well, I mean, there's the Trader Joe's right on the border with Chapel Hill. So that counts.
But it's like the opposite border of where we live. I want it to be more centrally located.
Well, it's close enough. But this is a really cool map provided by Durham, showing where all those new sidewalks are going to go. This is actually a great, so this road right here connects, you've got Hillendale that connects all the way down into Duke Hospital. And this is a great example of where there should be a sidewalk.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of people who walk down that road and there's nowhere. That road is really narrow.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think it's a really good thing. I think Durham has obviously noticed where some of their shortcomings are. And they're trying to address those through these proposed bonds. Obviously, it's not Durham's decision on whether these pass. It's the voters. The voters will either vote these through or reject them. But I think Durham has noticed two areas that they are not doing well in, and I think it's good that they're putting plans forward.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in November.
Take what we can get.
So
yeah.
It looks like we've got Earl joining us from Wendell Falls. Thanks for joining, Earl. We got Steven joining from Fayetteville, and we have Ethan joining from Sanford. Yes. Very cool.
And
got a bunch of local folks tonight. I love that.
I love it. And I don't know how to say, if I'm saying this wrong, I apologize, but Jane Chine, thank you for letting us know that the volume was not
turned. It was the first person to let us know that we were
really
just
appreciate that.
talking to ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on from the sidewalk. So, if you watch our videos a lot too, you will have heard us talk about 540 a lot. So if you don't know what 540 is, it is the loop, the outer loop in Raleigh. So you have an inner loop called 440, you have an outer loop called 540. 540 has really been half complete for, I guess, its entire existence. And the southern half has been under construction for, goodness, I don't know. I mean, I think ever since we created our YouTube channel, we have talked about the southern loop of 540 being finished.
It's been a long time. I don't know exactly when it, originally started, but I feel like it's been my entire adult life.
I don't know if it's been that long.
Yeah, it feels like it's at least the preparation.
At least the construction part hasn't been that long.
Yeah, the paving part hasn't been that long. I feel like the preparation for it, and then other elements of where it first kind of started closer to Cary and Apex. It's been a while.
Yeah. It has. Well, it was supposed to open before Labor Day this year, which is really exciting. But we had the Hurricane Debbie, right? Yeah, Hurricane Debbie that came through. Yeah, they came through, and due to all the rain, it just kind of delayed that opening day. So it looks like it's going to be after Labor Day. But I mean, you look at Labor Day is only a couple weeks away. And so it's getting really close to opening. And I think that's fantastic. And it's only a portion of the road. The most of the road is going to open. It's going to connect Holly Springs down to Garner. And then Garner to Nightdale will be in the next, I think 4 years. I think 2028 is the projection for
40
that.
years.
It's not going to be 40 years.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, 2028 for the final leg of that southern portion. But like for folks who, especially for folks who live in Johnston County, like I would be so excited for this, because there was I think it was Johnston County's, I guess their board of commissioners, or the county government put out, I don't know if it was a statement or a study, but essentially it looked like 540 was going to reduce the time to get to the airport by about 15 minutes from Johnston County, which I mean, it's a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many minutes it is now, but I imagine maybe 40.
It's probably a little bit longer.
Even a little longer. Airport. So I mean, anything is helpful for that.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, if you live, especially in the Johnston County area, 540, the completion of 540 when it's completely done is going to save you, if you can handle dealing and paying the tolls, of course. It's going to save you a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, and be smarter than us. For some reason, we still haven't set up the quick pass yet. It saves you a lot of money. So if it's something that you'll
like
use every week, it's like a substantial amount. So it definitely can be it can be affordable if you buy the pass. We just keep forgetting. So we just keep getting billed for like 25 cents. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, we owe 25 cents. And one time we did have a late fee. They take those late fees seriously. They're like, now you owe us $20.25.
Yeah.
Because you didn't pay it on time.
Yeah.
Because you lost it in the mail or whatever. So
yeah. So hopefully by some point early September, we will be talking on here about how that new portion of 540 is open, and I'm excited to drive on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I know
too.
for us, from a commuting standpoint to some of these other areas when we go down there to meet clients,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth
and
it.
There's never hardly anyone on it, and so it's always. I don't think I've ever been stuck in traffic on the toll portion. So, you know, because a lot of people will, you know, like my family that's been here for generations, they're like anti-toll road, so they'll take the longer way to avoid paying the toll, which I get that too. And you know, it's hard to change your patterns of using everything, but when you don't know where you're going for work and you put it in your maps, like you don't really have a choice. You just show up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm on the toll road now, so I guess I'm going this way.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And speaking of construction and something else we've talked about, but they actually broke ground recently. One of the largest racket sports complexes in the country has broken ground in Briar Creek with the projected opening date sometime in 2026. This place looks amazing.
It is. And it looks amazing. It's going to be huge because, I mean, 2026 is not close to now.
Yeah, but I mean,
this is going to take a while.
It's 44 acres.
Yeah, here's the picture of it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's 40.
Really, really cool. I know they're going to
acres.
have. Oh yeah, there we go. Now it's bigger. I think it's mostly pickleball, if I remember.
No, right. It's a whole lot of stuff. It's 28 tennis courts, 25 pickleball courts. I don't know
what paddle. I don't know.
Yeah, beach tennis, volleyball courts, ping pong lounge, a nature trail. I mean, this thing is going to be absolutely incredible, and it's going to be in Briar Creek. I think the biggest downside to this is if you look at it on a map, it's right in the flight path. Like it's like right by the airport where it's located, and so it's just going to be constant.
It's going to be loud, noise. But it's going to be loud no matter what. Because if you've ever been near a tennis court or a pickleball court, you know, it's not like it's like peacefully quiet or anything like that. So I don't know. I think it'll be such a constant sound with the airplanes being right there that you probably tune it out after like 5 minutes.
yeah. But I mean, this place is going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I forget, they had the cost in here. Raleigh's pledging $10 million, but they had the cost somewhere. I thought they had it in here. Maybe another article that had it, but $100 million. Wow. So, I mean, just an insane facility. Cool. But this is the kind of stuff that gets me really excited about our area's future, because we don't have a whole heck of a lot of stuff like this. You know, I mean, we don't have a theme park, or we don't have we don't have stuff like this really, and this is the kind of stuff that we need.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and I feel like this is also going to be good for a variety of different ages, because I know that, you know, I know pickleball is really cool with like the millennial population, and it's gaining a lot with the senior population as well. Obviously tennis too, but this having just more of a feel of like, you go here and hang out. You might go on one of the nature trails with friends while maybe your spouse is playing pickleball with his friends or something. And I don't know how much it'll cost to get in, but it'd be cool if they had maybe like an annual pass or something like that.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll have membership.
So it'll be really neat. Options. Yeah. And part of the land is owned by the city of Raleigh. And so that's why Raleigh's contributing some funds to it. And it looks like they have to pay it back like with interest over time or something. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
And Earl asked if there's any nature walk parks in Raleigh. I don't know what nature walk, like just with like trails, tons.
Tons.
Lot. Raleigh has, I can't remember the exact amount of miles of Greenway Trail off the top of my head right now, but it's over 100. Yeah. There's a lot for sure that are paved. If you go into Umstead Park, a lot that are unpaved in Raleigh, and then all the suburbs of Wake County too.
Umstead's going to be probably your largest area of like unpaved nature trails. It's just I believe it's a 5,000 acre. I think that's what it is, right? 5,000 acres.
I don't remember the acreage.
It's a state park right by the airport in North Raleigh. A huge state park. And so they're going to have a ton of unpaved trails. And then really all throughout Raleigh, you have a lot of paved greenway trails, some near your mom's office.
Yeah, one that we film a lot of videos in that I like is Laurel Hills Park has a lot of nature trails. And there's like a little kind of like almost like a boardwalk that goes over, I don't want to call it a creek. It almost feels like wetlands or something, like swampy kind of. That makes it sound bad, but it's nice too at Laurel Hills Park. But there's a ton,
and near where you are, Earl, because I know you're in Wendell Falls. There is in Knightdale Station Park has at least a couple miles of paved trails.
And that area is really nice. That park is very nice. With paved trails,
and that would be really close. That's probably a 10-minute drive at tops. From you. So
definitely.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So we did a video recently on folks retiring in the Raleigh area because it's one of the largest demographics. 65 and up is one of the largest demographics of folks. Actually, it is the largest demographic of folks moving into the area as far as the percentage growth that's occurring. And TriPoint Homes. So TriPoint is a builder in the area. They were building, they still are building in Holding Village in Wake Forest, and they're building, I think, in a couple other neighborhoods out here as well. But they just took on a 55 and up section of a neighborhood in Fuquay. So in Fuquay, there's this neighborhood called Serenity. It's down on the Harnett County side of Fuquay. So it's kind of the southern side of Fuquay. Really neat neighborhood. Kind of reminds me.
It is really neat.
Reminds me a little bit of like the Wendell Falls, the Briar Chapel, the Holding Village type neighborhoods. Really great builders out there. Trees Homes, Garment Homes. And TriPoint is going to be taking over the 55 and up section. So there's going to be a huge 55 and up section in that neighborhood. And TriPoint, this is apparently they build 55 and up communities out west, but this will be their first 55 and up community on the East Coast. Even though they're already here in the area, they're just not building 55 and up communities. But that's something that we are seeing a significant growth in is the 55 and up communities popping up around the area.
A lot. And a lot of them are so cool. If you go back and watch our non-live, like our edited video of the 55 and up community we were filming in, I think it was at Carolina Arbors, right?
Yeah,
a Dale Webb community. But the amenities are just like, it just feels like, I'm like, really, oh my gosh, I wish I could like rent a pass to be able to hang out here. Like it's really nice.
Yeah.
Like just feels like you're like at a resort in the Caribbean or something.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's the Dale Webb communities in general, though. They have really nice. That resort feel. If you've ever been to a Dale Webb community, their community centers they're massive.
They're huge.
It looks like a lighthouse.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Well, they look bigger than a lighthouse.
Well, yeah. But like they have that like little
the front
little
like has
thing.
This thing that looks like a lighthouse, but it looks like a Costco.
Yeah.
It's more of the size that it looks
it's
like.
Crazy.
But they typically, a lot of them have like an indoor pool, and I know they're
amazing.
so active.
Really
like
nice.
the people that live in there, there's just always stuff going on. So if you are planning to retire in the area, I would personally, if I was looking to retire, I think I would enjoy being in a 55 and up. It does not feel like a retirement home and by any means. I think people get worried about that. I think it feels almost like you're going back to college and you have like the rec center at the middle of campus and everybody's hanging out and, you get to meet a ton of people. It's not like it's, people like, it's not like it's a nursing home or anything like that. They are really cool. So this will be neat to see what they add. And this would obviously being within Serenity, the current part of Serenity is not 55 and up. So I feel like it's a good mixture.
And that's a good.
You have a little bit of both.
Yeah, because I mean, with folks who are looking for 55 and up, and we've seen it both ways. We've dealt with folks who want exclusively to be in a 55 and up community, and we also deal with folks who like the idea of a 55 and up community, but they don't want to be in one that's exclusively 55 and up. And the beauty of neighborhoods like Serenity, Wendell Falls would be another option like this. Is they're within a larger neighborhood, and you have the 55 and up section. That section typically has its own amenities, maybe its own pool and clubhouse and tennis courts, but that no one else in the neighborhood outside of that 55 and up section has access to. So you still kind of get that like exclusive feel, but you're also a part of a much larger neighborhood. So if you wanted to go into the other side of the neighborhood, you would also have access to their amenities. At least that's how Wendell Falls is. I'm assuming that's how Serenity would be as well. And so that kind of adds like a nice balance for folks who, because again, like if you're in that category and you want like that ranch lifestyle, like the 55 and up communities are really one of the most, if not the most affordable way to get a ranch.
Yeah. A ranch that's not like tiny and not really accessible. So
yeah, because like, I mean, these ranches here, they're going to be starting in the 400s, and they're going to be offering plans from 1,200 to 2,500 square feet. And like, I mean, to get a new construction house, like in the fours.
Yeah, that's pretty good, considering the average in Raleigh for a single family is 580. So to get something brand new in the fours, that's also got everything accessible on the first floor is definitely really nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. So.
And Earl said, I'm curious to know if there will be 55 and up communities growing in Fuquay Marina. This is there's actually 2 right now.
There's 2. And
one is Adele Webb, isn't it?
One's Adele Webb. I was trying to think of the name off the top of my head, and I can't. One's Adele Webb community, and there's another, and I also can't think of the name of the community. And it is H.H. Hunt. And it's this is actually a really cool neighborhood. It's a really small neighborhood, but it's completely different than what you would expect a 55 and up community to be, with all these amenities. This is a really heavily wooded neighborhood. And so the homes are like it's really beautiful. It's hilly. There's a ton of woods. The homes are kind of tucked back. All the lots are like an acre or so in size. So it's a really unique 55 and up community. But those are the 2 that I'm aware of in Fuquay.
Now we'll have this one as a third option. So.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And this one, obviously. So I said 2. There's really 3.
Now there'll be 3.
Which is a lot. I mean, Fuquay is a small town to have 3 55 and up communities.
That's a good sample size there to pick from.
Yeah. All right. Moving to the next topic. If I can get it to pull up. So this is interesting. So, we use this website sometimes for housing data. And they ran an article on what is out of the total value of your home, how much of that is land. So in other words, like you have parts of the country, like they mentioned Hawaii, like Honolulu, Hawaii on here, 70% of your value of your home is the land.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. It's only 30% is your house.
It's not like they've got a lot of land to work with there.
Yeah. And so I thought our area would actually be a little higher, and I'm going to share this screen. I thought it'd be a little higher than it is, but we are right at 25%. So I don't know if y'all can see on the screen. So Raleigh carries about 25%. So obviously that means roughly 75% of the value is in your home. And Durham is a little bit higher at about 28%. So, but pretty much the same. I thought this area would be a little higher. And I'm sure there's certain segments of our region, like the North Hills, like the North Hills area.
It in North Hills, because that area is where people come in, they buy your old house and they tear it down to build a new house. So obviously the home wasn't worth very much to them. It was just worth it for the location of the land. And so I think 10 years from now, that number will look really different because
you think so?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because I mean, when you already look at the new construction options, most of them are not in Raleigh anymore. There's just not a lot of land left to develop in Raleigh as far as like housing goes. So the land that people have, especially the older land, now you could fit 2 houses on those lots. So that's worth a lot of money. And pretty soon the developers aren't going to be able to buy a huge tract of land. They're just going to have to buy one little thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And redevelop it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess with growth and density comes more value being put onto the land and less value on the actual structure that's on top of the land.
Yeah.
So
it makes total sense.
Yeah. It's fascinating. But yeah, to look through some of the areas, I mean, Honolulu, 70% of your value is the
crazy.
Land. Only 30% is the actual house.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
That is wild.
All right. So there is a new permanent food truck area. I think they've already been open for a bit. I think they had a soft opening
the world's
starting.
longest soft opening.
Yeah, I think it started like
a month ago.
Yeah, it started like a month ago. But a place called the Can Opener is opening in Durham. So what I love about this is
the name is so perfect.
Yeah, the name is perfect. So there's a bridge that it's a train track and it goes over. Is it Grayson Street?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's right there by Brightleaf Square. So when you're like leaving Brightleaf,
Gregson. Sorry, yeah.
Gregson.
I don't know why I said Grayson. Yeah. Sorry. So there's this bridge that and it's called the Can Opener Bridge, and the reason it's called that is because the bridge is not very tall, and so it literally rips the tops off
all the semi trucks.
Yeah, off of these trucks that tries to go under it.
And the trucks go under it no matter what. There's so many, like, it's just like a running joke if you live in Durham of like, well, the can opener got another one today.
Yeah, and they're
always like stuck and blocking all the traffic.
Yeah, there's a camera that watches it, and there's actually a website. I forget what the website is, but it's the height of the bridge. And you can go to the website and you can watch video after video after video of trucks just having the tops ripped off of them because they went under this bridge. So I got its nickname the Can Opener.
Yes.
But anyway, so I love the name. And that's what kind of drew me to talk about it tonight.
It's right past it.
Yeah, it's a food truck park. It's opening right past it. And they've got a good little variety. They got Korean barbecue, regular chicken barbecue, Greek food, looks like ice cream. So like it's gonna be a really neat place.
Andia's ice cream. No, I'm excited about Andia's because Andia's is like kind of a local. They've got a few spots now, but it started like in Cary, and now there's they have one in Raleigh, and so this will be the first Andia's, and you guys will have to Google or find them on Instagram because their ice creams are like gourmet, really cool.
Are those the ones that put like a cupcake on top or something kind of crazy?
Sometimes they do have like some cool milkshakes, but they just have like really interesting flavors that look so cool. So I'm excited that they're gonna have a permanent Andia's truck. Hopefully we'll get like an indoor location too for Andia's for like when you don't want to have to do the food truck thing, like if it's raining or something. But this is gonna be really cool. And Bulgogi is one of my favorite food trucks in Durham, the Korean barbecue. So that's if you've ever been to Namu in Durham, this is their food truck. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like really good. It's the same people.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's one of the more popular food trucks. So it's cool. That's going to kind of permanently be right there.
Yeah, no, that is cool. But yeah, so their opening is this Saturday, the 17th. And so if you're in Durham and you want to go to the grand opening of the Can Opener, it would be worth it. So, yeah. And I just love the name because it's perfect because it's right there by the,
that is so funny.
Yeah, it's really cool. And if you Google Can Opener, like it's actual, like it shows the bridge. There's like reviews of the bridge. You can,
reviews. I give it a 0 out of 10.
I just love it. It's just such a unique, like little Durham thing. All right. I think that pretty much covers everything that we're going to talk about tonight. Do you have anything?
No, I don't. Thank you guys for sticking with us, especially if you sat and listened to us talk to ourselves for a few minutes when the volume was, we were just muted. There wasn't even like a technical difficulty.
Yeah, we were.
There was literally a giant red note on the bottom of our screen that said unmute. And I was like, my gosh, I can't believe I didn't see that.
I know. I didn't even know. So we use a platform called StreamYard to do this. And I didn't even know you could mute on StreamYard.
Well, you can.
You can. And we learned something new tonight. Yes, so. And thanks to y'all, we fixed it.
Thank you guys for letting us know. And like I mentioned earlier, if you are catching this later and you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat.
Absolutely.
We check those comments. We try to check them every day. So we'll definitely respond back to you.
Yeah. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.